Hey guys, welcome to my channel. It's Whitney with That Whitney Life. I hope you guys had a good week. Ours was a little bit more eventful than we wanted it to be. You see my dog Uma, she got attacked by a dog a few days ago, so she has some stitches, but everything is good. We really took this time to show compassion and forgiveness, and the owners were just wonderful. They've been really kind. So we've settled it as civilized adults and possibly have made a friend, which, sometimes out of the weirdest circumstances and the most unfortunate circumstances, you can still come out on top. So that was our week. But anyways, it is 4th of July soon. Can you believe it? It's almost July. Like, that's crazy. This year has flown by. So we're going to get patriotic right now. I have 5 patriotic DIYs for you, and I really hope that you enjoy these. They were super fun to make. I went all out. I stepped up my glitter game. Of course, you don't need to do that, but I figured, why not? Actually, fun fact, 4th of July is actually my husband's birthday. So, gotta step up my game here. So I hope you enjoy these, and without further ado, let's get to it. DIY number 1, I'm using 3 of these Dollar Tree candles. And then I'm also using some buffalo check ribbon that is from I think it's from Valentine's Day. And I'm just going to wrap a little bit around the bottom of it on all 3 of them. Just using a bit of glue. I made sure I covered up where that tag was. If you've ever tried to take off the Dollar Tree tags, they are kind of a nightmare. So I just decided to cover it up. I didn't feel like using the Goo Gone and going through all that when I was just going to put ribbon on it. So go ahead and do that with all of them. And then the next step is I'm taking these glitter stars. And I think I got these last year. I think they were just like the vase filler from the Dollar Tree. It was either that or like on a wooden pick. I don't remember. And I'm just gluing a red one, a white one, and a blue one onto the bottom of it in some sort of fashion. Doesn't really matter, however you want it. And then I'm going to take these Dollar Tree letters. And of course, I'm going to put USA on these. And that is it for this one. I think they're really cute. And just really an easy way to come up with something festive if you want to decorate for the 4th of July and celebrate America. So this next one I'm using, I think this is the 14-inch wreath form from the Dollar Tree. And then some buffalo check deco mesh. I got this from Joann's. You can always get, whatever you want from the Dollar Tree. They carry deco mesh as well. I just really like the quality of the Joann stuff. It's just so much better. Like, you can reuse all of it and it doesn't fray like insanely. So basically all I'm doing is I'm taking a pipe cleaner and putting around the 2 center rings of this wreath form, and I'm going to attach the deco mesh onto it, and then I'm going to do probably about a 10 to 12 inch loop or poof and use another pipe cleaner to attach and just keep going all the way around the wreath form this way. I don't know how much deco mesh I used because these were previously used. I used them during Christmas. So I really don't know, but I think it was probably about a roll and a half. And I cannot remember how long the Joann's deco mesh is. It's quite a bit longer than the Dollar Tree one. I want to say it was about 10 yards. And it is a little bit more expensive, but again, like I said, it's way better quality. So go ahead and cut off the excess pipe cleaner. And then I'm going to take USA, and this is from a topiary from the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to glue those on. And this was a terrible camera angle. I'm really sorry, but this is ribbon from Joann's. The striped one they carried during Christmas, and then obviously the star one was for 4th of July. I just looped it over on itself one time, and then cut that off and dovetailed the ends, so then I would have 4 pieces. And then I found the center, cut a notch on either side, and secured it with a pipe cleaner. I just attached this to the areas where the pipe cleaner was showing on the wreath, just to cover that up. Now I kind of realized after, I wish I didn't cut off the excess pipe cleaner, because then it would save you a pipe cleaner. You wouldn't have to use a second one for this. So, just keep that in mind. If you want to do it that way, that's fine. If you want to cut them off, that's fine too. It's your money. So, but I thought it'd be better if I left it on there. So I'm just going to fan it out a little bit. Keep in mind that I'm only showing one of these, but I actually did two, because you can see there's an open spot where the pipe cleaner shows. So just keep that in mind. I'm not going to show it though. Then I'm going to take a blue ornament from Christmas, and I'm just gluing that into the center of the bow just to cover up the pipe cleaner. And I decided I wanted two more. So I have a glittery red one and then a glittery white one, and I did that on both bows, making sure I glued them down really well because they did want to come off. Gluing the ornaments together did help a lot in stabilizing it, so I suggest that. Then I'm going to take these stars, and this is another Dollar Tree topiary that I got last year. I don't know if they have them this year, but I glued one into each gap in between the USA. I just thought it needed something, and it was a little empty. I want to go over the top on this wreath. I haven't done one of these wreaths in a very long time where it just looks like everything was thrown up on there. So that's what I was going for. And then I felt in between the bows there was too much of a gap, so I did glue a star down there, and wherever I felt the gap was too large. And then I felt like it needed some flowers, so I used red roses, blue carnations, and then white poinsettias. I know poinsettias are Christmassy, but use what you got. And I just glued these into clusters. All along the side that says USA, there's some of the pipe cleaner was showing, so I want to make sure that that's all concealed completely, but I did it all the way around the side that has USA. So the middle needed something, and I have this little hanging thing from the Dollar Tree from last year. I think they do have them this year, but I took the star off of it and I just glued that into the center, and that was everything for this. I really like how this turned out. I know it's super gaudy for a lot of people. I feel like you got to do something like this, at least for one holiday, especially when it comes to 4th of July and Christmas, where it's just, you can really go out there and it's acceptable. But I had a lot of fun making this one. DIY number 2, I'm using this galvanized bucket from the Dollar Tree. It's in their springtime, you can get them, and I'm using Folk Art chalk paint in Nantucket Blue. When you're painting this on, it does look more gray, but it will dry more grayish blue. It's a really pretty color, I really like it, so don't be fooled. It will be a little bit more blue. So now I'm going to cut out some stars with my Cricut, and I'm just going to put these in random spots all over this bucket. I think the pressure on my Cricut, I think I nudged the little dial on it because I had to tear these out, and it was a little bit difficult. So, if you're using a Cricut, make sure your pressure is correct, because I never adjust it, so I just didn't even think about it. You'd think I'd learn from my mistakes, but honestly, next time I use my Cricut, I probably won't check how the pressure is. So it is what it is. Now I put some floral foam from the Dollar Tree, and I put quite a bit in it. I kind of wanted to fill the bucket, and I took spider plant from the Dollar Tree. I ended up taking that out. I did not like how it looked. And in this part of the video, I am the queen of bad camera angles. I just have a hard time videoing florals. They're kind of hard to film. I just got to learn my camera angles, but anyways, I put in random red, white, and blue flowers, some poinsettias, mostly roses, and then some carnations and whatnot, whatever I could gather up, and put those in there just randomly. I do like to start with one color, put all of those in, and then start the next color. So now I have more USA that I got from a topiary from the Dollar Tree, and some dowels. And I'm just going to go ahead and glue the dowels down on each of the letters and let that dry really well. And then I'm going to take some more Christmas ornaments and glue a dowel inside of these as well. The blue one was a little bit hard. I had to push it in, but it worked out fine. And then I'm going to do a white glittery one as well. I'm just doing one of each. You can do more if you want, but one of each was fine for me. And then I'm going to put those in, just assemble them how I want into the floral foam. Make sure you do enough floral foam though, because the USA can get covered up by the flowers. And I put the Christmas balls in there. And then I decided I wanted to make a quick little bow. So I'm doing just a simple bow. I'm going to, again, bad camera angle. I'm just going to take the ribbon and crisscross it over on itself, making sure I'm leaving tails. The buffalo check one, I did a little bit smaller than the star one. And then I'm just going to pinch it in the center and secure it with a pipe cleaner. And then I took a dowel and I wrapped the remaining pipe cleaner just as tightly as I could around the dowel, securing it really well. It is going to slip and slide around just a little bit, but if you get it nice and tight, it'll be minimal. And then I'm going to put that in wherever I saw fit. I like to put them off to the side. It just gives a little bit more interest to the eye rather than just smack dab in the middle. Of course, I'm going to dovetail my ends. I did want to leave the tails different lengths. So if you want them the same length, that's fine. I like them different lengths. So then I'm going to take these stones of River Rocks from the Dollar Tree, and you can't see what I'm doing, but just know I'm filling the bucket up with these to cover up all that floral foam because you could see through it. And here's how it turned out. I really like this one. I think I'm going to give this away as a gift. I'm not sure yet, but I think it just turned out really pretty. I do love a good floral though. They're so fun to go over the top with and so easy to do. And it's such a nice statement piece. DIY number 3, these are all just various rolls from like deco mesh, ribbon, whatever I could collect. They're just cardboard. And I did sand them down just a little bit to remove some of the rough edges. And I'm giving them all a coat of white. Guess what, guys? I'm not using Rust-Oleum. I know. Drop dead right now, right? I'm using Waverly. I was at Walmart, decided to pick some Waverly white paint up. So after I'm done with that, I'm going to use some painter's tape to tape off where I want to divide these. And I'm going to give the largest one is going to be red on the bottom and blue on the top. So then I kind of realized that I really didn't need to do all of them white, but I do feel like the true color of the paint came out, so I'm not like that upset about it. The taller, skinnier one, I wanted to do some stripes on it, so I taped off where I wanted those stripes to be, and then I realized I kind of did it in the wrong spot because I wanted them to go in the order of, red, white, and blue. So I did end up moving the tape. You can see me figuring out where I need it. So I did end up moving the tape so I could do red, white, and blue. And then I gave them some paint. This red color that I didn't mention earlier is a full cart acrylic paint. It's not chalk paint, but it is in the color Engine Red, I believe. And it's actually more on the pink side than I was hoping for, but it works out fine. It's red, whatever. So if you saw that I moved that tape so I could have the bottom portion be red, I felt I only needed one coat of each one, so that's totally up to you. Now, after it dries, I'm going to tape it off so I can do the blue, and I'm going to tape the first one on top of the middle red, I guess. The middle one, I'm going to tape that off, and then I'm going to tape just underneath the top red, and then I'm going to do the very bottom right underneath the first one. You can see what I'm doing. I don't know how to explain it. So now I'm going to take this midnight blue color, and I believe it's from Americana. I don't remember. And then just a little bit of Waverly white chalk paint just to lighten it up a little bit. I felt that it was a little bit dark. So then I'm just going to paint those empty spots. I only use one coat again. This is these paints cover up pretty well. So I only needed one coat. Again, it's your choice. And then I'm going to go ahead and remove that tape and let it dry. So now with the little one, I'm just painting it all blue. I was really trying to scrape this blue out because slim. I hardly had any left, and I cannot believe I made it stretch. So now the larger one, I'm going to tape off right underneath the white, and I'm making sure that a little teeny tiny bit of red is showing through just so it can be seamless. And I'm going to go ahead and paint that top part blue as well. So after I have all of those painted, remove the tape of all of them, and then I cut out some more stars with my Cricut, and I did adjust the pressure on it, so this worked out a lot better. I'm just going to put stars on all of the blue stuff, so I only used about 3 on the skinnier one. I think I cut 40 stars for this project, and then the next one. This one I probably used about 20 to 25 stars. So I'm going to go ahead and put stars all over that little blue one. And then I'm going to put stars all over the top of the blue and red one. Now that I have all those stars on, I'm taking some jute or nautical rope from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to put like a little wick. Is that what they're called on fireworks? I'm just going to glue that right in the top of all 3 of them. And then I glued them together and however I felt like I wanted it. And then I'm using this little buffalo check ribbon that was from the Dollar Tree during Valentine's Day, I think. And I'm going to glue that around it like it's kind of holding it together. And then some jute twine from the Dollar Tree. I'm going to wrap it around just a couple of times, maybe, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 times, however you want to wrap it around. And then I decided to make a bit of a bow. So I'm just taking some jute twine and making sure that there's a tail on it, wrapping it around my fingers maybe 5 times, and then taking another piece of jute and I'm going to pinch it in the center, and then I'm going to wrap the jute around the center of it, just like 1 or 2 times, not very much. And then I'm going to tie that off. I made sure I tied it very tightly in a double knot, and then you can go ahead and cut down the excess of this completely if you wanted to, but I liked the look of having 2 tails on either side. So I opted to keep them, but that's totally up to you. You can have no tails at all, whatever you want to do. So I cut those down, and then I just went ahead and glued that right in the center of the little one. And that was it for this. I love these. The inside of them does not look that cute, but you won't even be able to tell. I made it for a tiered tray, so with all the other stuff going on, you won't even be able to tell. But I love these little fireworks. I think they're adorable. This next one is more of those stars from the Dollar Tree topiary, and I'm just going to flip them on the backside, give them a bit of a sand. You can sand the glitter off too if you want. I didn't even think to do that, and I kind of wish I did, but that's okay. And then you're going to tape off wherever you want to divide the paint. I did do the second 2 strips of tape in the incorrect spot. The first one I did correctly, the second 2 I did not, but I did end up moving them. So I took that same Folk Art acrylic paint in Engine Red, and I gave it 2 coats of the paint. I do like to remove the tape when the paint is still wet, but after I let these dry, I mixed up some of that blue, and I did, the same midnight blue and then a little bit of the white chalk paint. And I taped off the stars again right below that red line, right below it. And that's just going to allow you to cover it with a little bit of blue paint so it's more seamless. You don't accidentally have a gap if you're trying to do it exactly where the red paint ends. I just like doing it this way. It's, whatever you want to do. So I gave that 2 coats of that blue paint on each of them. And then I took more of those stars and I put them on the blue part of it. And I did, when they were hanging over, I started folding them over on the side of the star, but it just didn't work out. So clipping them off worked so much better and it just looked a lot better. So that's what I opted to do. If you want to fold them, that's fine. They just don't stay very well. So cutting them down was my choice. Once you have put the stars where you want them and as many as you want, I'm going to go ahead and glue them together. I'm doing 2 on the bottom and then 1 on top, so it just kind of looks like the middle one pops out. Put a decent amount of glue because this did fall apart on me because I just didn't put very much glue. And then I cut out with my Cricut Land of the Free. I did land on one, and then I did of thee on the center one. And I had to stagger this a little bit because I just didn't have enough space to do the two words directly across from each other or just in a straight line. But I actually really like how it turned out this way. And then I did a free on the last one. If you don't have a Cricut, you can always use stickers. That works out well too. And then I wanted to make this hangable, so I took a piece of jute twine, glued it nicely on the back, and then I took a piece of, it was just like a tag that I had from a Dollar Tree product. I think it was from my sanding block. I just cut it into strips and laid that over the top of the jute twine just for some extra security. It's really not necessary, but I want it to be super secure. So that's what I chose to do. And here's the finished product, a little bit on the rustic side. And you can hang it or you can prop it up on something. I just wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do. So I gave myself the option, but I really love this. I just think it turned out so cute. That's everything I have for you in this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you did. They were super fun to make, and I think they all turned out really cute. My Instagram handle's in the description box, so make sure you follow me there. Thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next one. God bless.